Just because I'm a dumbass, don't mean that you can't be too. So don't be afraid to try this in your own home. Hello everyone, welcome to week 2 of the Beam Outlaws Challenge. I'll be using a handful of drag racing related mods available from the in-game repository, and within a few simple rules, we'll set out building some badass Street Outlaws and No Prep Kings inspired race cars. In the last episode, I turned 7 of the fastest drag cars in the game into 4,800 plus horsepower supercharged Outlaws. By the end of that, the Bluebuck, Bastion, Barstow, and Moonhawk made the 4 quickest passes of the evening and will be brought back for the final shootout episode. Tonight we'll find out which 4 of these Nitrous Outlaws will join them for that episode. You may notice we're missing the Gavel D-Series and Gavel Barstow tonight. In the case of the Bastion, the mod that allows the use of the massive amounts of nitrous it takes to run near 5-second passes isn't compatible. And without spending weeks working on it alone, I just wasn't able to build the Nitrous D-Series that would be competitive. To keep within the spirit of Street Outlaws and No Prep Kings, and to keep all these cars looking like cars, I've set out a few rules to follow. To keep it interesting, each car will only be using 1 power adder. Tonight we'll be seeing the Nitrous cars, and the following weeks I'll bring you the turbo and pro-charged versions as well. All the cars must be front engine and rear wheel drive, and retain all body panels and roll cage. Once again, I won't be the only outlaw on the track. My opponent for tonight for each pass will be a specially tuned version of the supercharged Bastion. The AI, even in equal cars, aren't as fast as a human. So, in the spirit of Street Outlaws and a make the rules as you go mentality, to make it fun and keep the racing close tonight, I'll be giving my AI opponent the hit on the tree. Instead of reacting to the 3 amber lights, I'll be leaving on green. The first car on the track tonight will be the Gavel Burnside. If you've watched the Supercharged Outlaws episode, you've already seen how much of a handful this car can be, given way more horsepower than likely existed in the time period the car was designed. I wish I could say those problems have been solved with the switch to a nitrous combination, but they haven't. I never know what's going to happen when I release a trans brake on this thing. Tonight, it runs a 6.141 at an off-the-throttle 220 miles per hour. Just like the supercharged version, the car runs pretty well until half-track or so, before the rear end tries everything it can to beat the front end to the finish line. Next up is a Gavel Grand Marshal. This is another car that turned out to be more than a handful at times in supercharged form. It either made hard right turns, or it carried the front end for half the track. And ultimately it missed the top 4. With the top 4 cars moving on after this episode, and only 5 cars in competition tonight, anything better than a 6.141 will lock the Grand Marshal in. Well, it wasn't a great pass, but the Grand Marshal runs a 6.138 at 255 miles per hour to guarantee a top 4 tonight. Here is the Gavel Bluebuck. The supercharged version of this car worked pretty well, and we'll see it again in the final episode. This version, however, has been a bit of a handful in testing to this point, although I think I have it mostly straightened out. But there's no guarantees. That's something that's common to all the cars we're seeing tonight, actually. A 6.140 or better guarantees a spot in the final shootout episode. Let's see what happens. have our first 5 of the night with a 5.977 252 mile per hour run by the Blue Buck. I had hoped, having already built cars capable of running in the 5s, that switching engine combinations would be a fairly simple matter of a few tweaks here and there to gearing, shocks, etc. That hasn't been the case. The Nitrous combination seems to be a lot more violent off the starting line, and getting the power down smoothly has been a challenge. You can see here a rear slick bouncing off the ground as the Blue Buck launches. Okay, this is the Gavel Barstow. We'll see the supercharged version of this in the final episode. Whether or not we can say the same about the Nitrous version here remains to be seen. I know from testing that it's capable of topping the list. However, all the cars that have run so far tonight have run at least a tenth of a second slower than they had in testing, so who knows what we're going to see here. The Burnside is still on the bump with a 6.141. Well, we get another 5 with the Barstow running 5.999 at 254 miles per hour. That pass was pretty much straight down the middle of the lane, no drama, no pain. Still, I expected a 5.8 there, so for whatever reasons, the cars are all a little off tonight, but that pass was good enough to lock the Barstow in for the final shootout episode as well. For those of you who are interested in these things, or maybe building along with this series yourself, in the week or two leading to the final shootouts, I plan to do a series of shorter videos featuring each of the top 16 cars individually, where I'll share a complete list of all the mods, car parts, and tuning setups for each car. If you're enjoying this episode, a thumbs up would tell YouTube that others may as well. Also, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss out on any of the action. With that out of the way, we have our final car for the night, the propel Moonhawk. The supercharged version of this car is currently the quickest car in the series with a run of 5.857. With everything running a little slow tonight, I don't expect the Nitrous version to beat that. However, I don't see the Gavel Burnside 6.141 holding up any longer. And it doesn't. The Moonhawk runs a 5.902 at 242 miles per hour, putting on the top of the pack for the Nitrous cars tonight, bumping out the Burnside. And good enough for number 3 of all the Outlaws so far. That's it for the Nitrous Outlaws here tonight. We'll be seeing the Moonhawk, Blue Buck, Barstow, and Grey Marshals again. Thanks for watching. See you all next time.